Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about some things that I intend to do in 2025. Things that I feel would make me better, hopefully better for you, a more rounded person, and the person that I really need to work on is of course myself. If that sounds interesting to you and you haven't fallen asleep already, then stick around. With every new year, there comes a point of introspection. Things that we did better, things that we failed miserably on, things that we know with a little bit of a push we could have done but didn't. Other things that we do repeatedly that we'd rather like to change. I came across Well, actually, I didn't come across it. It was sent to me by a very, very dear friend the other day, who was actually sent it by another very, very dear friend. So it was something with 19 statements that live rent-free in their head. And I looked at them and I thought them quite profound. I thought I would like to share with you the things that I've read, and I added one to the end of them. And whilst I'm telling you them, I'll tell you why I think they might fit me. The first one is, fear doesn't stop death. It stops life. Now, I am one of those people that if I don't hear from somebody that I'm expecting to, then I have them on the floor and somebody is putting the paddles on their chest. And boom! I do worry unnecessarily. I think a lot of people would like to even have a YouTube channel, but their fear stops them from doing it. Now, I started my YouTube channel exactly 31 weeks ago. I didn't start it before because I was fearful. I could see that some people get a lot of not very nice comments, and I really didn't want to import that kind of misery into my own life. So it stopped me for a long time, and then I found a bigger cause than myself. So I did, very tentatively. And if you've had the dreadful experience of going back through my first several videos, then you would notice that things have improved somewhat. I'm better at editing and things like that. And I've cut out all the peripheral rubbish that I thought you had to do if you had a channel. Things do improve with time. And what I want to say to you is, if fear is stopping you from doing something, then just grab the nettle. And it will never be as bad as you think it will. 2, if you've been watching my series about my life and all the mistakes I have made, and there have been many, this second one is very relevant. People only see the decisions you made. They don't see the choices you had. And that is quite profound. Without walking in someone's shoes for not even a mile, 500 yards can be enough. You have no idea what the backstory was, what they are going through right now, how frightened they are, how powerless they feel. You cannot judge them without knowing all that has gone before and the choices, and they may be few, that they had. So what I would ask of you is to think kindness. if you think of leaving a message that is less than kind, it's better to leave nothing at all. They've already been through it. They've already been whipped by that other person, not physically, but mentally. And what they need is support. 3, if it costs your peace, then it's too expensive. That sentence is incredibly profound. So often we will accept things for peace, but in fact it robs us of our own peace. That is too large a sacrifice to countenance. 4, never take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. How many times have you been in conversation with somebody and they are incredibly critical of you or your lifestyle or something else? And yet, if you look at their behavior and their lifestyle, then they really don't have room to criticize you. 5, no is a complete answer. It doesn't need you to justify it. That is an incredibly powerful sentence. How many times have all of us said no and then gone on to give a whole explanation as to why we can't do something, why we don't want to do something, and then only to find that the person that wants us to do that thing will try to talk us around, and then we feel bad. You are never going to win when telling somebody no, but I can tell you, once you start it, it is again one of those little muscles that you have that is so seldom used that it is weakened. But as soon as you start using it, with each no comes strength. You don't have to be angry or anything. You can just say no. No. And that's it. Say nothing more. Try it out for size. It really is enlightening once you start, and quite addictive. You realize you can say it, and the world isn't going to crash to an end. 6, the magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Now, I had to think about that one for quite a time. I suppose in my life, I'm looking for serenity, and I do get that to a point from making art, which I avoid. I avoid it because I fear failure, and that's the truth. I have a big white canvas. I love preparing them because it's still just white. I love the gessoing bit. I love something repetitive. And yet, when it comes to making the first splodge, I stop myself. I have this beautiful studio downstairs. The light is perfect. Everything's perfect. I have got paint almost coming out of my ears, and yet I fear failure. The same way as each time I start a video, and here's something that might amuse you, I have to take propranolol to calm me down. I know it sounds odd because if I don't want to put the video up, obviously I don't have to. I can just bin it. I can delete it. But every single time I have to take the propranolol because I am anxious. 7, ships are safe at harbour, but that's not what they're built for. So my take on that is that we can go on in life constantly looking for safety and not achieving what we're truly capable of because we're too frightened to use it. Like me with my art. I know because I've done it. If I concentrate on my art and if I go to sell it, it does sell. And not just for a couple of pounds. It sells for a lot. And yet, I'm not doing it, which is actually ridiculous. I'm doing YouTube now, but also I should be doing that. So I will try to work hard on that this year to improve on it. I will set myself a goal, 8. If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. So I think I am sacrificing my anxiety to achieving this channel. I am sacrificing relaxation and feeling calm for my YouTube channel. I'm sure I will get better in the end. I'm sure the relaxing feeling that some people exhibit on camera will come to me eventually. But it's still only 31 weeks old and I'm still in the infancy of this channel. I haven't got used to it yet. So until then, I shall still keep on sacrificing my serenity, shall we say, to achieve this channel. And I do it gladly. 9. Ambition without action becomes anxiety. Now, I can relate to that. I was ambitious to sell my art. And while I did that, I don't know, when you put your art out there, it is like showing your weakest underbelly for somebody to come along and judge you, judge your baby. It is hard. There is a lot of fear involved, I think, with making art. So that is something that I am going to have to work on this year and see if I can improve on it. Well, frankly, any improvement will be good because I haven't really done any art this year. 10. Obsessed is what lazy people call ambitious people. Think on that one. Yes, I've heard that. Oh, he's obsessed with something. She's obsessed with something. It feels like a criticism, and I suspect it is. But it is also a justification for somebody else to not do their very best. 11. To live a life most people don't live, you have to be willing to do what most people don't do. I think that is with regard to the amount of effort and the amount of practice you put into anything. I think a golfer once said, "Isn't it amazing? The more I practice, the luckier I get." And it's true. This day and age, there is so little weight put on working for the future for yourself. It's a shame because you are investing in you. This day and age, it is all about now. What can I get now? The instant gratification. Because I think social media has given people the wrong idea that they can all become an influencer and seemingly do nothing but take pictures of themselves and be given lots and lots of things. Instead, they might think, how long would that sort of career last me? They could possibly be a doctor. They could possibly be a pilot. They could possibly be all sorts of things. But right here and now, they don't want to do the work for their future self. 12. You can do anything, but not everything. Focus. I think that number 12 is most pertinent for me. I want to do everything. I am capable of most things, but I do lack focus, and that's irritating. So that is on my list of things to try to combat this year. This one made me laugh. If you want to make a wrong decision, then ask everyone. How many times have you asked somebody and then asked somebody else and then asked somebody else, and they've all given you different opinions about what you should do? At the end of the day, this is your life. Your life. Nobody else's. Just think long and hard about what you want and then make your own decision, because you know in your heart what you want to do already. The decision is already made. It might be difficult, it might be uncomfortable, but it's still your decision. And the more often you make your own decisions, the more people will respect you. 14. Those that do not move do not notice their chains. In other words, if you don't try to get things done, if you don't try to improve your life, then you are chained to that point in time. You might think you're free, but actually you're not. Everything is holding you back. We are all capable of having our best life if we make our own decisions and we choose wisely. Now, you may be shouting at the screen at the moment and saying, but Imogen, you made so many poor decisions throughout your life. And yes, that is true. But you weren't in my shoes. You didn't know what choices I had. And yes, I did generally choose badly. But I'm not like that now. So I have grown and I have learned. The thing is that whilst for a long time I kept on doing the same things and expecting a different outcome, there came a point when I worked on myself. And thereafter, I was a different person. And I wouldn't go back to the younger me for all the tea in China. This one's interesting. 15. If you can be in a bad mood for no reason, then you might as well be in a good mood for no reason. Think about that one. You have a choice, is what it's saying. You can either decide to feel grumpy and all the effects that will have on your face, or you can feel in a good mood. You can feel joyous and get all the dopamine from that joyous feeling instead of the bad mood. So choose wisely. Number 16. It's okay to live a life most people don't understand. For me and my darling boy, for instance, in this age of female emancipation, I do enjoy just looking after him. I do enjoy bringing him cups of tea a biscuit here and there, well, actually, I don't enjoy cooking, but I do it. I don't always do it well, but I do it. And everything I do for him, I do it happily. If I did something for him and it wasn't with both arms open and with the best intention, then I wouldn't actually do it. So my darling boy knows exactly where he is with me. He knows that if something upsets me, then I will tell him straight away. He knows that I wouldn't do anything that I didn't want to. And he does know that I love looking after him. 17. If someone could see your actions and not hear your words, what would they say your priorities are? I think that is incredibly profound. It's all very well saying, I'm sorry, or I love you. I love you. But if those words aren't met with corresponding actions, then they mean nothing. Nothing at all. I have had a lot of I love yous in my life, and then horrible behaviour. So those I love yous were nothing at all. With my darling boy, his every action is an I love you, even when he forgets to be thoughtful, because shortly afterwards he will pull himself up and explain to me what he should have done. And at that point, I fall in love with him all over again. It's so lovely that he has actually thought that through and shared it with me. The other day, for instance, I took him in a cup of tea and I had forgotten to put the sugar in it. I don't take sugar, he does. And he said, there's no sugar in this. And I quickly jumped up and I said, I'll go and get some. So I did. And during that point that I had dashed into the kitchen to put the sugar in, he thought his actions were not quite up to par. And when I came back, he said, I should have just got up and done that myself. I'm sorry I didn't do that. I thought that was great. So we're all capable of reimagining our behaviours and feeling what it would be like to have behaved differently. Number 18, no risk, no story. Sometimes we have to take a risk. Then the story can be one of success. There aren't any failures. There's just a way of not doing something again. Within my own life, I've always tried to find a silver lining out of every dreadful scrape I've got myself into. And it has allowed me to be much more forgiving. And whilst some people might say, well, I wouldn't have forgiven that. If somebody has done you wrong and they have said sorry, then it is lovely to be able to give them forgiveness. If they can't show remorse, then I am unable to forgive them. And that's where we are. If somebody shows remorse, then it is actually easy to forgive and it lightens your heart. Number 19, we do not see things how they are. We see things how we are. Sometimes we look at something and we think, well, I wouldn't do that, because we're seeing that situation from our own perspective. It may be completely different. We need to keep that in mind when we are looking at things. And this one is the one that I added on at the end. And it comes courtesy of Chase Hughes, but it did resonate with me. Getting ahead of yourself. Discipline is when your mind is in the future. Put the needs of your future self ahead of your own. This is me thinking that 5 years down the line, if I didn't up my exercise, if I didn't take care of my gut health, I'm actually drinking homemade kefir right now. If I didn't keep on working on finding interesting things to talk about with you all during the time I am on this channel, and if I didn't keep on working on that, then I can't expect to A, be in the best of health, B, to be the same size that I am now, because I do have a kryptonite, and that is cereal. That is definitely my kryptonite. I could eat that all day long. And you know, if I buy a box, it is gone within several days. So I have decided not to buy cereal because that is definitely my kryptonite. I do hope that you have found this of interest. I intend to make a bullets journal because it's only a bullet point journal. I don't need to write tons and tons of stuff in it because I probably wouldn't. And it's much more visual than normal journals. So I bought myself this book, and it's nice and it's got little squares in it. And I bought these fine liners from Amazon, and I intend to make it pretty and log my habits. My habits will be to journal, to exercise, to improve my gut health, and drink water. And I have to admit that one is a big thing for me because I like my water with coffee in it or a tea bag and milk. Let's hope that we all take note of what we want to be in 2025 and work towards it, because we can. We are the authors of our own life, and it's time we all started writing. And if you have been, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.